Good evening, everyone. Hello. Who's on this evening? It's time to get more productive. So welcome to this inner circle. If you're joining us for the first time, and again we've had lots of new members today, welcome. It is lovely to see you. If you're the first time on this live, it's not as weird as it's probably going to make out. In fact, it probably is as weird as it probably looks, actually. so good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, we are the care home inner circle, care managers inner circle. Here with our battle knickers. You're probably thinking, what the hell's all this about underwear and knickers? We coined a phrase. It's only going back a couple of months now, and that shows our resilience in the face of incredible challenges. And we are an amazing group doing amazing stuff with amazing people. So great to see you tonight. Hello, Jane. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Deirdre. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Chris. Hi, Paula. And there's our Heather. Hello, Heather. Heather with the biggest stockpile of Tess. Hello, Julie. Hello, Jane. Good to see you. Hello, Tess. Hi, Hannah. Hello, Michelle. Hi, Joe. She says, I need mine pulled right up for my CQC. Oh, you're a call tomorrow. You'll be absolutely fine. Hi, Jane. Hi, Joe. Hi, Karen. And there's loads of people on this call that have been on one of those emergency test calls or whatever it is. Hi, Joe. Hi, Linda. Hi, Amanda. Good to see you. Amanda doing some great work. Hi, Daria. Hi, Danny. Hi, Adriana. Hi, Julie. Hello there, Jan. So, for those of you, there's our mic. Hi, Shirley. Yeah, I spoke to Shirley before. And anyone else, always just, sometimes, emails and messages can be a bit impersonal. I've started now, just sending people little voicemails as well. It's a lot faster, again, more productive. It's a lot more personal. Instead of then typing out a message to people. And also, just text me or message me and just say, look, have you got 5 minutes? So I've always got time for you guys. And that's not because I'm, I know more than you guys. I'm just here as a sounding board. We've all got, don't feel alone. Never feel as if, you're facing these fights alone. Just pick up the phone and just message me. If I can take the call, or any of you, lots of you are doing lots of mutual support, which is brilliant. That's what we're all about. And as someone says, we're not a group here that's designed, for regulation and direction. We go through that in terms of, but we're all making mistakes. We're all with our battle knickers, sometimes around our ankles, sometimes around our necks. And it's great. And so there's Shirley. So Shirley and I had 10-15 minutes today just chatting some stuff through. And one of the things that came out from that was that trust your intuition, guys. We're under a lot of pressure at the moment from local CCGs, from also Acute Trust to receive people. There's our Helen. Hello, Helen. The missus is now is on. Hello, Joe. And we're under a lot of pressure at the moment. And I always say, never ever forget the power of intuition. And that's that gut feel. You can fool your head and you can fool your heart. You can't fool your gut. Your gut there is separately wired. From it's hardwired from a long time ago. And your head you can fool or can be fooled. Your heart, as we all know, we've all had our hearts broken, could always be fooled. But you can't fool your intuition, because that's the subconscious, incredibly powerful, and you ignore it, ladies and gentlemen, at your peril. So always listen to your gut. If it doesn't feel right, then go with that. Certainly sleep on it, and remain firm. Absolutely. Don't never cross your gut. That's what I'm saying. So empathy fatigue is what I truly set in. I need to give my head a shake every day at the moment. That's from our Danny. Empathy fatigue. I love that. I also thought today, we're massively sympathetic. Sometimes I think we can be a little bit too sympathetic, and you can pay the consequences of that. You start getting beaten by your own stick when you say, look, I do understand where you're coming from, and literally you end up being beaten by this big empathy stick that you said, and you're off, right, yeah, I know I said that, but we've also got a job to do. And that's why for at Birkdale Park or indeed Rosebank, we've got our thing is mission team self. We've got a mission to do. We've got to deliver care, excellent quality care. We then look after the team and team cohesion. And I've had a big week, a huge week of that, about team cohesion. And then we've got to look after individuals. And so individuals are third in the queue. We've got a mission, team, and then self. Mission, team, self. Mission, team, self. And they're in that order. Bang, that's how we work. So, guys, tonight I just want to talk about productivity. We all want to squeeze a little bit more out of the day. We all want to get, a little bit more bang for our buck. But we've all got the same 24 hours. Same 24 hours as Boris Johnson, same 24 hours as, all these other people, myself. And yet, why is it some people can just squeeze so much and some people seem to be floundering around? And again, I'm not saying that I'm doing stuff right. There's some stuff I'm just going to talk about. So tonight I'm going to give you some stuff, some food for thought of a number of areas and techniques that I've used over the years. Some work exceptionally well. Some are just techniques that I've developed and I just think that, they just work for me. And if you can take some of those as takeaways, then great. And then I'm going to finish with almost my top 8 skills. It's my top 8 that I absolutely swear by in terms of productivity. You want to be insanely productive, then follow some of these. And I'm not holding myself up as the most productive person, but there is some stuff I can crunch through. And I've already demonstrated on here. It's the use of mobile phones. It's the use of your phone dictation. It's using apps. There's some stuff which is just absolutely insane that will make you just so much more productive in the workplace. I'm going to talk about going deep. I'm going to talk about fast jet passes. I'm going to talk about some crazy concepts, but my God, they work. So if you're in the car and you're listening to this on your phone and you're just playing it through your phone, a number of people have said recently they haven't got time to sit on the live at night. So they play it back on the drive in, and there's another really productive way of not missing out, or just getting more. Podcasts can be particularly powerful, etc. So I feel as I've got something crawling over me. Did you see the live last night with that Alsatian? People said you look really scared. Now, I generally was not in a good place, and the reason for that is because, and for those of you thinking what's hell he's talking about, as I did a live last night. I was still working at Birkdale Park, and so it's sort of 8 o'clock. So one of our night carers came on, and I heard this howling in the car park, and I thought, what the hell's that? And she goes, oh, that's my dog. And I said, but you can't leave a dog in a car for the night. And she says, well, he normally calms down. So I'm like, no, I don't think you can't leave a dog in a car for 12 hours. And also, the neighbours are going to flip. And it's just not right. So I said, look, we love dogs here. Bring the dog in. And so you saw me watching this dog come round. And I thought for a minute that. And then this dog appears and it's a flaming Alsatian. Now, the reason why I absolutely freaked is because my only recollection of Alsatians is on a riot control baseline in a riot situation in Northern Ireland where we had Alsatians with us as part of the line. So you've got your riot shield, and you also have the policeman next to you, or the soldier with this incredible devil dog, and all the devil dogs were Alsatians. So I was, and they just they rip people apart just for a laugh. So I just thought, so my background, my experience of Alsatians is Northern Ireland, and they're not nice dogs. I'm sure they are, but they're not nice dogs. They're not trained to be your best friend. So you can see I was like, whoa. So there's a lot of flashback going last night. So hi Ian, good to see you. Hi Rachel. So I just want to go through some stuff on productivity. Stacey said, I once got bitten on the bum by an Alsatian. Oh my God, he was a huge softie. That dog last night. He was lovely, absolutely lovely, and gorgeous dog. But I'm afraid my my gym brain ran away last night. Right, I want to talk about productivity. It's all about procrastination. If you can master procrastination, so first, why do we procrastinate? We procrastinate because we're daunted. We're daunted typically by the task in hand. And we suffer, as we all suffer, from overwhelm. If you suffer from overwhelm and you suffer from such a daunting task, then you're going to naturally put it off. You're just going to put it off. I don't care what's going to come in your something else, sorting out the drawer, sorting out your naked drawer, whatever it might be, is going to be far more interesting than tackling that PIR that's just come in, that report that you've got to do for the end of the quarter. Anything at all, it will be put and placed in priority order rather than that. So recognize that. It's the ability to manage time. And it's true when it comes to time and productivity. He who cannot manage time can manage nothing. I'll say that again. He who can manage, or he or she who can manage time, cannot manage time, cannot manage anything. You have to manage time, because time is finite and we don't get it back. And so the ability to force as much and to be able to work and get as much out of the hours, the same hours that everyone else has, more than the next person, will mean that your home will be more successful, you as an individual will be more successful, your teams will be more productive and successful, and ultimately you get stuff done. It is simple as that, guys. You get stuff done. So tonight it's about getting flaming stuff done, rather than that stuff which your brain would rather do because it just wants to procrastinate. So there's a number of things which I just want to go through. There are a number of things which influence your ability to do this. Your ability to prioritize is one. Your ability to, and your susceptibility is what I call it, to be distracted, continually distracted. There are magpies amongst us, ladies and gentlemen, that will be continually distracted by anything and everything. And at times I'm one of these people. I know that if I've got this ukulele anywhere near me, I will happily strum pretty poorly on it, because I'd rather do that than actually the work in hand. And if I want to get stuff done, I've got to put the ukulele somewhere else, because I'll quite happily I could fill hours just doing not an awful lot, apart from trying George Formby when I'm cleaning windows. That's for later. Right, so right, speed of work. Your speed of work is fast. I talk about tempo, how fast you can turn your hamster wheel. So while someone has a slow tempo in an organization, if your tempo is that little bit faster, it means for every one task they do, you've done 2. For every 2 tasks they've done, you've done 4. For every 4 tasks they've done, you've done 8. And it means that back end of the week, you've gone 16, 32, you've got far more tempo than anyone else, because you're getting stuff done. It is simple as that. The length of your productive day. I used to, when I first started out, and as I've got now my own business, I used to think that the longer you worked, the more stuff you could pack in. It was the absolute biggest urban myth going. And I firmly believe this. I had a subconscious belief that if you start a business, you have to work till 2 o'clock. And I've said this before on here. And therefore, I was trying to fulfill these urban myths that if you're working successfully in your own business, or indeed some people at work, they will stay till 8 o'clock, they'll stay to 7 o'clock, they'll stay to 5 o'clock, because they think that's what's got to happen. Most of us, of course, are going to still be there. But some people happily say, well, I can't leave the office for 8, 9, and this also goes for people working in the city, which is just horrific culture, absolutely awful. It destroys lives. And I worked in the city for 2 years. It was horrific, absolutely horrific. And there's people in desks next to you quite happily, it's 8:30 and they've got young families, and it's completely wrong. So this idea that I've got to fill and do work until extended work, but the quality of the work is far, far less. And this is, there's a saying that, more efficient people aren't necessarily more brilliant people. They've just found strategies to overcome procrastination. That's what it is. It's identifying. So tonight I'm going to go through some of those things, which is about identifying how you can overcome procrastination and how you can become insanely more productive. So successful people, they manage time. They manage their lists better, their things to do lists. And I'm going to talk about 2 lists. Folks are thinking, one list is, but no, I'm going to talk about 2 lists. 2 lists, that's how I work on. I work on a deep list and I work on what I call the sideshow. Deep list and sideshow. Deep list is stuff which is, there'll be 3 things on the deep list. There are 3 things on the deep list. On the sideshow is all the other stuff, the stuff that you really want to do first. And you have to have a rule. I'm going to do 1 deep list and I'm going to do 5 on the sideshow. Anyway, I'll deal with it in a minute. So yeah, they've got there, and so therefore they're more productive. So activity isn't about productivity. We've all heard about busy fools, and my God, in my time, and probably still continue to be, I am a busy fool. You know, we've all been busy fools. I've watched some incredible people in my time. I mean, absolutely jaw-dropping, incredible people. Incredible, very successful senior civil servants. And you watch how those guys and girls operate. It is insane. So what do I see? I see people who come into a meeting. The first thing is the meeting is ruthless, absolutely ruthless. There is a strict agenda. The agenda is small, I mean super small. It isn't 20 points on the agenda. They control that meeting ruthlessly. They will not have people talking over. They know exactly what they're going to get out of that meeting, and they bring people in accordingly. So that's the first thing. Meetings are managed unbelievably to be productive. They allow free flow, but my goodness, when it comes to, and they know that, as I said with my meeting, you know, we are out of that door in 30 minutes. Always start your meeting by saying clearly what we're getting out there. The aim of this meeting is to. The aim of this meeting is to. The aim of this meeting is to get an output for that, to get an action plan for that. Don't just start a meeting. You will be far more productive if you start your meeting with the simple words, the aim of this meeting is to insert aim and output. And I sometimes go, the aim of this meeting is to, and the output from this meeting is bang, bang, bang. That's it. And if we do not stick to that, you're in a world of, because then it's just a talking shop, you know, a lot of hot air. So another thing I've seen with some incredibly amazing people is the speed they action stuff. I remember I was in Burnley, and we were doing a very, at the time, very secretive mission with a number of different organisations, including the Prince's Trust at the time. And one of the senior civil servants from who was working alongside the Prince's Trust, and we were doing for anti-radicalisation of Asian youth. It was an amazing project. No one knew about it, and we had around this some real senior movers and shakers in UK, not just politics, but also local authority. And and she came in, this senior civil servant, and I watched her now, and literally she said, she pulled teams together incredibly. And around this table, and remember, she had her phone out. This is a power bank. She had her phone out, and literally, as someone made an action, she made an action. She goes, right, that's fantastic. Right, she made a note on her phone, and bear in mind, this is probably about 15 years ago now. She made a note on her phone, and she immediately then she said, carry on talking. I am listening. She sent the email of the action which had just been discussed. And she said, right, I'm going to bring in Humphrey. That's a good name, isn't it? For a civil servant. I'm going to bring in Humphrey. Right, okay, I've already actioned that. It was the speed. She wasn't waiting till the meeting finished. It was like bang, bang. They all do it now. And when the amount of times, how many times have you been in a situation where someone comes into your office and they say, "Oh, we've got to put a plan together for the Garden of Fate, or the this or the that, or we've got to put a press release together," and they watch their faces when you say, "Let's do it now. let's do it now. And you go, what now? And you go, let's do it now. Let's do that now. And one, we've got an amazing activities coordinator. And I said to her the other day, I said, right, I want to get the plan out for May. This is obviously before May. So I want to get the plan out for May. I could see, because our brains, we overthink, we overcomplicate. We get immediately overwhelmed because that's how our brains work. And I could see it happening in Helen. I could see it happening. And I say, we're going to do it now. Right, and working side by side with people. One powerful thing I learned was when you're working in teams, get someone on the keyboard, and inevitably I would say, right, I can type probably a lot faster than you can. So let me do the keyboard. You sit next to me, get your chair here, right? You get your chair here, right, let's go. And we do a thing called a fast jet pass. A fast jet pass is from my days in the army. When you need reconnaissance information very quickly, you haven't got time for faffing and fanning around for the information to be collected. So you do a fast jet pass over the whole project, boom. And it means that very quickly you're going to pick up the key points of the whole operation, the whole project. You're going to hoover them very quickly. What that avoids is taking too much time and overcomplicating things. So, for instance, today, I took over today as the registered manager of Rosebank. So I went in there. It's the first time we've had a sort of genuine manager in there for a while, and there was a lot of stuff to do. Now, what I could have done, I could have spent hours and hours thinking, right, oh my God, where am I going to start with this? Again, because your brain goes into overwhelm. Let's overcomplicate it. Let's overthink it. Let's just over everything it, so that I'm going to put it into this is too difficult category, and then therefore I'm not going to. And so I did a fast jet pass. I set myself 30 minutes to identify all the key areas of compliance and issues which are identified. I typed them straight onto, well, initially I put them onto my phone. So I just sat there, I said bang, 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 bang. And literally without, just let it flow, get it straight down. I then emailed it to myself. Within 10 minutes it was in a table, and within 10 minutes after that it was in an action table. And that was literally within 30 minutes. It means that your tempo is so much faster than anything else. So watching other people that are highly successful in what they're doing, and watch what they do. They do not procrastinate, do it now. And watch other people when you can see them overthinking, and even by the words, we're overthinking this, guys. Let's chunk it down. Just chunk it up. So the other thing as well, they've got great teams around them. Great teams that they can throw what I call the rugby ball. So the rugby ball analogy is throwing it back. So you picked it up, you've given the direction, you then turn to your team and you throw it back to your team. And you've got to have a team which is ready to catch that rugby ball. And so have you taken the time to delegate to them effectively? Have you shown them what is required? Another night I'll talk about delegation, and there's a skill to delegation in terms of delegating up, delegating down. They are two completely separate skill sets, because delegating up is very different from delegating, and we'll go through that. So tonight it isn't just about personal productivity, this is about team and organizational productivity. There is no place, ladies and gentlemen, for perfectionism. If you are a perfectionist, then you need to sort that out. I'll tell you why, because perfectionism is the death of any organization, and I make no apologies for that. It is the death of teams. It can be the death of individuals because of their over anxiety and perfection and drive for perfectionism, and it can be the death of projects. So if anyone ever comes to you to say, well, actually, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, either show them the door, or say, I think what you might have meant to say is that you strive for a particular high standard, but you accept 80% because you can't always get that perfectionism, because that's not the real world. So be quite clear on other people's their strengths, their weaknesses. And the 80-20 tool is one. And as I said to someone another night, I said, look, accept something. I'd rather accept something, but I used to always say to my team, I just want to boot it out the door. Boot it out the flaming door. I said, if it's not off your desk and out the door in the next 2 hours, I said, we've got an issue here. And what I mean by that is you've got to get projects off and out of your in tray. You've got to get them launched. I used to call it the Exocet missile. You've got to get it fired, because too long the missile has just stood there on the pan. It's just stood there on the waiting to go, because someone said, well, we need to follow it, we need to put this on it, we need to put that. Just get it out the flaming door, because we can deal with it then. We can deal with it. So, and I've always said, accept productivity is something, 80% or 70 or 80% rather than 100% of something that never gets off the bloody starter block. And I've seen that so many times with people. So I've spoken about brains can overcomplicate, where they will always try and overthink. But just get stuff down on paper. If you ever have a project, if you ever have a report which you've got to write, the faster you can start, you can break through that report. Just start it. So the night that you're given it, the afternoon you're given it, do a fast jet pass and literally just put titles down. It's a fantastic brain clearing exercise, because then you can finesse it. I wrote a paper, this is on Sunday, on COVID and starting businesses up. And this was completely separate to do with Storm. And that took me about 2.5 hours. It started by me just literally brain dumping everything I knew about COVID and how a business, it didn't matter if it's a cathedral, it didn't matter if it's a restaurant or a pub, how would that look in terms of starting up? And you get some of the most fantastic works because it's so time boxed, because you're in flow, in flow. And the ukulele had to be locked in another room because I thought, I'm not going to get this stuff done. So here's some concepts. Fast jet pass, you write this down. Fast jet pass. It is how you start a project very quickly. Pull your team together, say we're going to do a fast jet pass. This is going to take 30 minutes. You get someone on the whiteboard and then you literally go for it. So brain dump and all that, but a fast jet pass is literally that. You fly over the whole project and we're going to get 70%, maybe 80% of the issues down. The other 20, they can follow on behind, and you accept that. Time boxing is really important, super important. If you give someone 3 weeks to do, they'll literally do that project or whatever you set them in probably the last day of those 3 weeks. If you give someone 3 hours to do it, they will do it extremely quickly, and you get a better product from the individual in 3 hours because you have continuity through. It's about project pickup and drop down. Project pickup is the time taken to actually get in mode again. Put your Wurzel Gummidge, I'm showing my age now, you put your Wurzel Gummidge project head on, you screw it on with old Miss Sally or Aunt Sally, and you then get into project mode. If you're continually taking that head off, it is taking a lot of time and effort. But if you sit down in one session and do it throughout, then you're literally on fire. So diarise it. It does not happen unless you actually action it. So when someone says to me, we had a big issue recently at Birkdale Park because we didn't have appraisals, were just limping on. The only way to do this is you have to delegate it and you have to get them to diarise it. Put it in your calendar when stuff's going to be done. If there's PIR required, put it in your diary in a time box. That's the PIR time. If you have to do something else, a return, a notification, or something that takes, maybe it's a safeguarding that you know is going to take what I call deep work. Deep work is proper work. It is the project. It is the report you have to write. You have to get in mode and you have to go deep with it. And I'll talk about that in a second. Right, you've got to go. So this is how you do deep work. The only way to do, right, everyone close in. The only way to do deep work, and I've been here 1,000 times, is you have to go deep. You have to hide. So you have to take yourself out of your work environment. This is absolutely key. So if you have a PIR, there's no way in hell you're going to do it in your office with everyone else coming in, talking about rotas and off duty and such nurse didn't do this and and linen bags. That's not going to happen, guys, at all. And you will procrastinate over that because it's such a massive project. The project the work you do will be disjointed. You have to go deep. And the only way you do that is you either say, I'm going to go to another home in your group, and you're going to sit in a side office of someone, your mate, and you're just going to go deep. I used to go to Liverpool, and I used to go and sit in the Liverpool Chamber of Commerce's hot desk, when you could hot desk, because the only reason I'm there is because I've got to do that work. I'm not going to go there and faff around and fanny around with emails. So I was then in tune, I was then in complete flow, and my God, 9 times out of 10, I'd done that deep work by the time I got out of there, because that was the only reason I went there to do that. In the army, I saw senior generals and brigadiers, when they had to do deep work, they booked a side room, not their desk, they had a perfectly functioning desk. They used to book a side room for a day or 2 days, and they literally locked themselves in there when they're doing a new paper on the Iraq War or this or that or whatever it might be. So that's how you've got to diarise it, and you've got to go deep. You've got to go, and you've got to hide, get yourself away from your work environment. Right? You've got to sharpen your axe. Now, what's that mean? That means that every single one of us can faff around with our normal daily routine, just doing stuff. But we're getting more and more blunt. All the time we're just getting blunt because we're not doing proper work. We're doing emails. We're filling our time with just stuff, ukulele. So sharpening the axe is the ability to get on with stuff very quickly. And my God, the stuff that you're doing is on point. Right, manage your energy, not time, and get better at saying no. Get better at saying no. I recently got approached by a charity that said, look, we saw you presenting, we really like that. I wonder if you could do the following for us. Would you be prepared to come and mentor disadvantaged young women who are trying to start out in life? Now, you're pulling all the heartstrings here. And I had to say no, because I was saying yes to everything else, and I said no, I can't. I said, because I've got to dedicate time to that. I'm not just going to sign up for my own ego to make myself feel better that I'm these poor young women from inner cities. Absolutely, but I had to say no. But I could not continue to say, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll be on your board of directors. I'll do that. Yeah, I haven't got time. So you have to say no at some point, and it means the stuff you say yes to is much better. Right, team, are you ready? Are you ready for a big 8? Are you ready for the big 8? If you're in the car, you don't have to pull over. I'm going to put these on a piece of paper, and I'll upload these. Right, these are the big 8 of productivity. Are you all with me now? Eat the frog. Yeah, you've got to, absolutely. Every morning you've got to eat the frog. I told the staff, so this is Julie, I told the staff I was going home, then quietly shut myself in the general manager's office and did my PR. Julie went deep, boom. Shirley, lost teeth, middle footers, I escaped, went home. So it worked. This stuff works. Right, here we go. Right, productivity. 1, you're going to make 2 lists. Not 1, 2. 1 is called your deep list. And the other one is what I call the sideshow. Right, I know it's back to front, but stick with it. Right, so productive. So first thing is you're going to make 2 lists. The first one is deep. Right, your deep list is your proper work. You won't have much on that list. It'll be, you've got to do the new content for your new website. You keep putting it off. You're going to do the content for your new, you're going to do the script. You're going to do that presentation that you've been asked by the CCG to do because they want you to talk about COVID and how it's the deep work. It's big work that takes time. It's your Wurzel Gummidge head. You've got to take time to put the Wurzel Gummidge head on, get in flow, Get emoji, and that's where you get yourself into another office and no one hell knows where you are. That's deep work. So, so 3 deep lists. So your deep list will have probably 3 things in there. Your sideshow will have all the other guff on there. I've got to do the appraisal for that. I've got to do the supervision for Joan in housekeeping or whatever. Right. So that's right. Productive. Right. So next one then. Right, the next thing is you're going to do one thing at a time. So all you girls out there are fantastic at multitasking. This is a time when let's not be multitasking. You're awesome at it, but let's not be multitasking. One thing at a time. If you focus on that one thing and not all the other stuff, and I'm an absolute nightmare for this because an email will come in and I'll try and answer that. I'll try and answer that because my brain is going, let's do that because I'd rather do that than the stuff that you really should be doing. And even preparing for tonight, my brain was trying to think of stuff that I could do rather than do the stuff I needed to be doing. So it's a little tinker. So one thing at a time, disappear, go deep, and diarise. So as part of that, do one thing at a time. Make sure you diarise it. If it's important, put it in your flaming diary and stick to it. Otherwise, it won't happen. As I said to someone who kept saying to me, are you? We need to do this. I said, well, if we need to do it, put it in the diary, put a lock and chain on it, and make sure it happens. Like appraisals have got to happen. Put it in the diary, make an appointment with that person, get them into your office, and make sure it happens. Because otherwise, it won't happen. Right, the next one. Right, the next one is disconnect. Disconnect off the internet. If you're doing genuine work, deep work, unplug your, go into airplane mode, but unplug your Wi-Fi. Take all the notifications off your phone. So where's your phone? Well, my phone's there, right? Where's my phone? It's there, right? So take your notifications, your WhatsApp notifications. I don't have any notifications on my phone, including my Facebook. So no notifications at all. The only ones I have are on emails and my text messages. That's it. Because otherwise I'd be distracted to hell throughout the day, and my brain, my chimp, would rather read through all that stuff than do some proper work. So disconnect off the internet. The other real handy tip as well is make a distraction list. This is your personal list on what you routinely get distracted. So distraction list for me would start with this thing. So that I know will happily distract me. Emails will quite happily. Dotty the dog will quite happily distract me. Big Alsatians behind me in my office at Birkdale Park. That's on my distraction list because that will massively distract me. Right. So disconnect off the internet. Right, next one. 4. Is it 4? I don't know. Make distraction list 4. Done that. You're right. Sticking this. Right. Right, this, I'm going to put a little person there. Right, look after yourself. Get more sleep, eat well and exercise. Whether or not you like it or not, the moment you take more interest in exercise is the moment you start liberating. And that's not me judging you. That's just saying the moment you take exercise in your life more seriously, genuinely more seriously, and the moment it came a game changer for me was the moment I made a declaration to myself that I will exercise, not 3 times or 4 times, but I will exercise every single day of my life. I will run with the dogs every single day of my life. And generally I stick to that. Because what I found was too much wriggle room. If I said I'll do 3 3 days a week, I will go, well, I didn't manage to do it Monday, so I'll do it Tuesday. So Tuesday became Wednesday. So there's always too much wriggle room. But if you say, I'm going to do this, so look after yourself, get some real good 7 hours of sleep or whatever is good for you. Look after it and take some good stuff inside. And it becomes a game changer, guys, an absolute game changer. And for me, again, no judgment, but I stopped drinking 2 years ago now, or a year and whatever, you know, nearly 2 years. And again, I've got no issues about people drinking, but it became a changer for us and for me. You know, it went through the roof in terms of productivity. I got another world back, a technical world. Right, next one. The next one is chill out. You've got to be able to, what I call you need some daydream time. Daydream time is where if you're on this treadmill all day, then some of your best thoughts and your creativity is, you've got to allow your subconscious to do some chilling out, because that's where the magic is, guys. That's where the magic, when you go boom, and where everything then fits into place and you go, why haven't I seen this before? So you've got to chill out, you've got to meditate, whatever's good. I go running in the sand dunes with the dogs. That's how I chill out. But you need some time to meditate, to chill, to contemplate, to let that soft deep soak into your subconscious, and then the magic, oh my God, it just, and that's why you get some incredible ideas. The other one here, which is controversial, but hold on. You've got to get up early. Now, some people say no way, but own the morning, own the day. It's simple as that. Own the morning, own the day, own your life. You know, you own it. If you get up, people say there's no way I'm going to do that at 5 o'clock. Well, that's fine, but I can tell you now, my brain is on fire at 5 o'clock in the morning, and literally I can pump the most amazing stuff out at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm literally on fire at 5, guys. You know, mentally, I'm not now. You know, this is, I do not work in the evenings. You know, I can't work in the evenings. It's just not. But if I want some serious work done, I leave it to 5 in the morning, because I've time boxed in it, because I've only got to 7 o'clock. So I push out the best reports, the best everything at 5, between 5 and 7. Boom, and it goes. And dogs are sleeping there, and they just think, you know. So you've got to get up early, right? And the last one. You ready for this? You lazy. So Michelle said, I love early mornings. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. Oh my God, this one's the big one. This one's the big one. Let technology unleash you. Now, we've all been, how many times have I done with the speech to text? If you don't do speech to text, then you've got to go. I'm afraid you've got to go. If you're not doing that already and you're still thinking about it, then I don't know what more we can do. You know, I need a big stick to prod you with and hit you over the head. If you're not doing now speech to text dictation, emailing that stuff over to yourself and saving yourself immense time, then you want to have a serious chat to yourself. So if there's anyone on here tonight thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Because your life will change, your work productivity will go through the hoofing roof, and people will go, where's this person found this new gear? Yesterday, I had supervision after meeting after meeting, and I would not go home until all of it was done. And all of it was literally on my phone like that, boom. And these are big reports, guys, and big supervisions, all captured, all the details there, boom. And I sent them straight to my admin team, and they crunched it, the whole lot. You might not have an admin team, but even so, I can send it straight to myself, and I can sort that out in a fraction of the time that other people are doing. So you've got to be using this stuff, guys. You've got to be. So when someone texts you now, right, How many of you are still not using WhatsApp in terms of the messaging? How many are still not using you can record a voice on it, right? A voice. So all of you now sort of saying, yeah, well, I text people. Stop texting. Stop texting. Or you press a button and you just talk into it. You go, hi there, Helen. Yeah, no, but many thanks for your report today. That's absolutely fantastic. I thought it's personal. You get it in there. In 40 seconds, I've got probably, 300 words down. And it's heartfelt from you. It's the same information. It's the information transfer. You're not after putting it in text. So get used to doing that. Sometimes I just do a short video, 30-second video of me just going, boom. And you get it away. It's that fast. How many of you have today thought about, if you just think for one of the tasks where, it might be a mail merge, it might be sorting out, when you get a chance, go on to a advanced Word course. It's about to be probably a day, and you will find the stuff that you never knew was on Word, and you thought, this is going to change my life. And you're thinking, why didn't I know this 20 years ago? Or Word wasn't going 20 years, but 5 years ago. Word is so incredibly powerful. There are so many shortcuts that all there waiting for you, and you don't know about it. On Word now, there is a dictation facility. I'll say that again. There is a dictation facility on Word. You can pump that stuff out. I've got a little microphone on my thing there. It's all there. It cost me £4.50 to get a flaming mic, shove it in the back of the thing there, and now I dictate onto my PC at work. Boom! So this is the stuff, guys. This is the stuff. There's so much more, so much more. But anyway, right, tonight. So tonight, let me just finalise. So lots tonight. You said I get passionate about productivity because you can just literally unleash your life through doing stuff. Right. So make 2 lists. Always make 2 lists, because what happens is your deep stuff gets lost in this big shopping list. So deep list of 3 or 4 things, which is proper work, which you've got to do one of those per day or several of those per day, and then some what I call the sideshow. Sideshow is all that other guff, right? Do one thing at a time. So ladies, multitasking, that's all well and good, but let's do one thing at a time, stick to it, and diarise it. If it's important, you're going to diarise. Disconnect from the internet. Switch off your notifications. Get off social media. Switch off your email. Get off your Wi-Fi and disconnect if you want to be really powerful. Look after yourself. Eat better. Sleep better. Try and drink not as much. And just look after yourself. Chill out. You need some time for contemplation to allow the real magic to blossom, because that's where the real creativity is. But you've got to, and believe me on that. Don't think, well, everything else, right? That is the most important. You've got to chill out. You've got to do exercise, and you've got to look after yourself. So get up early. If you might not buy into that's fine. All I can say to you is, if you can imagine, it doesn't matter how, I know the productivity I will do in the morning through that one, getting up early. And if you felt even a fraction of how elated I am in the morning at 7 o'clock, I've crunched through probably the equivalent of 6 hours of work. 1 hour in the morning is worth 3 hours in the afternoon. 1 hour in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon. I am pumping that stuff out. So 2 hours, high octane, no distractions. I don't do any emails, any faffing around. I get straight on to deep work. And that means I can do probably more than other people can. And then this one here, use technology. So in the morning, I can speak into there. If I've got to do that, and I email it to myself straight away, because I've done all the hard work. And that's why last Sunday I was able to pump through so much more reports. Team, look, finally, who was... So it went on for a bit tonight. Apologies for that. There's some... I'll let you decide whether or not there's some good stuff. But after several people have asked for this. As you see, productivity. I love productivity. And if you can show your people this, show children this, bam, it's just awesome. So when I'm cleaning windows, I go cleaning windows to earn an honest bob. For a nosy Parker, it's an interesting job now. It's a job that suits me. Window cleaner you will be if you could see what I could see when I'm cleaning windows. Honeymoon couple two, you should see them Bill and Cooley. You'd be surprised at things they do when I'm cleaning windows. My profession, I work hard. Hold on. My profession, I work hard, but I never will I stop. I'll climb this blinking ladder till the very top. Brush and bride, she looks divine. The bridegroom, he's doing just fine. His lyrics, George Formby's lyrics was so bad, he got banned by the BBC because he was such a naughty boy. These lyrics are really bad. It's all right, here we go. Brush and bride, she looks divine. Bridegroom, he is doing just fine. I'd rather have this job than mine. Apart from dealing with COVID. When I'm cleaning windows, chambermaid suite, names I call. It's a wonder I don't fall. My mind is not on the work at all. And when I'm cleaning windows. There you go, folks. Right, good to see you. Many thanks. I'll upload that tonight. And as always, look after yourself. You're doing sterling work. Keep on pumping that stuff out there. You're doing fantastic. Take care. See you soon.